Hello and welcome to this episode of Hampton Roads Business Live. My name is Rory Graham and I'm here today with Khalil from the Khalil and Sada Sheldon law firm in Virginia Beach. Welcome.
How are you doing today?
Oh, pretty good. You're a franchise attorney.
Yes.
And we have not had a franchise attorney on the program before. Can you give us an overview of what your law firm does?
Our law firm, which is located in Virginia Beach, is a franchise boutique. And we do two things. One, when people have successful small businesses and they want to franchise, they want to spread over the country, they come to us and we do the legal work and other assistance to help get them going. And we also represent existing franchise companies. Very often they're represented by other law firms, and for one reason or another they want to switch to our services.
Okay, all right, so let's start, I guess, with the basics. Can you tell us, I think everybody kind of knows a little bit about or has an idea what a franchise is, but can you define a franchise for us?
Yes, franchising is a business concept done under a single trademark. Think of McDonald's, for example. Anywhere we go throughout the country, we see the McDonald's sign. The other thing is a common business plan. So it's a single mark and then it's a common business plan or format. And what makes it unique is its individual ownership. Individual, normally local ownership of a unit as opposed to a chain like Walmart or Home Depot, which is all owned at the corporate level. Now from a legal point of view, there's a legal test, a legal definition, and it's three elements. One, is the trademark. One is a trademark that's operating under a trademark. Two is substantial control or assistance by the franchisor. And three, does the franchisee pay $500 or more within the first 6 months of operation?
Is that a franchise fee?
As a franchise fee or otherwise, yes.
Okay. So I guess the advantage of getting into a franchise would be that you are joining a proven system. Something that is proved to work, and so you don't have to start over, reinvent the wheel, right?
That's exactly right.
But you're also bound by certain rules of that franchise, so you can't like open a McDonald's and start selling hot dogs.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
When there's a franchise, you get the proven system, you get the training, you get the support, but you then have to follow the system.
All right, can you give us some examples of some franchises?
Yes.
I mean, we said McDonald's, but other ones that people might not think was a franchise.
Yes, examples of franchises. First of all, it's highly prevalent in the restaurant industry. So it's not only McDonald's, but it's Subway, it's Taco Bell, it's many in the restaurant industry. There are many other industries that are heavily franchised. Hotels and motels are heavily franchised, like Days Inn. Also cleaning companies, whether it's Janet Clean doing commercial cleaning or Cleaning Authority coming in the home, after-school programs, daycare programs, gyms. Franchising literally pervades almost every aspect of our economy.
Yeah, actually when I was reading your material, I was thinking of some myself that I thought, well, I bet they're a franchise too. Yesterday I saw Molly Maid.
Yes.
I bet that's a franchise.
Yes, Molly Maid's a franchise.
Okay, all right, and so do you have people that come to you then who have a company, but they think that they might want to franchise? They might want to make it a franchise? I mean, create a franchise?
Yes. Okay. We have companies that come to us and they wonder about franchising. For example, we launched one just last fall, American Title Loans out of Utah, off to a very strong start. When companies come to us, whether it's a hair salon or whatever it may be, and they say, I'm thinking about franchising, we want to look at a few things. The first thing we want to inquire about is, do you have one or more successful existing prototypes? Because if a company's going to franchise, it has to be a win-win proposition. They have to be selling a proven, profitable business model, not testing on somebody else. So that's number one. They've got to have a successful business concept. Number two, they need capital. There's legal fees, there's accounting costs, there's manpower needs. They've got to have some capital. So we want to make sure they're not on a shoestring. Three, they've got to have some manpower. If you're going to be selling franchises and supporting franchisees, possibly all over the country, you've got to have people in your organization to do that. It can't be a one-man operation and do that successfully, at least not very long as the company grows. And lastly, what we look for is, are people knocking on the door already? Are people coming up to the business owner saying, hey, you've got a really neat concept. I want to set one of those up in Richmond, Northern Virginia. We look for that too.
Well, I guess that would be a good sign.
Right.
So, all right. So my next question was, what are the first steps of doing that? And I guess the first step would be to contact you. And then you all would handle what? The trademarking and...
Yes, the first step is to come see us, and we're going to evaluate the business just under these factors that I just discussed. Do you have a successful business already, for example? And from a legal point of view, what we're going to do to help somebody launch a franchise, first we're going to want to get a federal trademark registration, because again, it's pivotal to a franchise company that they have a mark that other business owners throughout the company will use. The next thing, we're going to get to work on what's called a franchise disclosure document. That's a vital document that discloses many points about the company, its management team, its history, and it must be given to every prospect and held by every prospect for 14 calendar days before that prospect can pay any money or enter into a franchise agreement with the franchisor. We're going to want to get the client off and running on two other critical things. They're going to need an operations manual that details everything a local franchise owner will need to do from A to Z to start and operate a franchise business. That's required by law. And they must have an initial training program where they train those new franchisees on their manual. Again, it's required by law.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so that's 14 days.
Yes.
That they have to look over everything with their attorney or whatever.
Yes.
So that's, I think one of the regular sales things is 3 days.
So 3 days for door-to-door salespeople. You get to rescind.
Okay, so 3 days and 14 days. So it's a bigger deal.
Franchising is a bigger deal, yes.
Okay. All right. You mentioned the title loans. Can you give me another example of a franchise that you've recently done?
Yeah, we have launched a couple of other franchise companies recently that I think are very interesting. One is Order Up out of Baltimore, and they offer online menu restaurant ordering, and they have in fact recently sold to Whitney Lauk, a local Norfolk franchise owner, and she has got the local franchise up and running very strongly. Mm-hmm. They pitch very much to the college crowd who's in dorms looking to order some food, and also to business people who would like to order lunch. We have another franchise I think is very interesting. They're out of Northern Virginia called Drama Kids, and they offer after-school drama program to keep children occupied in that time period between when school lets out and when the parents come home.
Huh, okay. All right. Do you have international clients?
Yes, we have, in fact, an international client from Mexico. We recently launched a nail and hair salon in the U.S. for her. And a number of our U.S. franchisors that we represent also offer franchises in Canada.
Okay. And laws are pretty different there.
Canadian laws, it's funny, the province of Alberta, Canada was the first to pass franchise laws, and then the U.S. actually copied from them. So Canada and U.S. have very similar franchise laws.
Oh, okay. All right. But some of the states now have specific laws that are different from each other, right? I mean, depending upon what state you're in, there might be different rules.
Yes, that's correct. We have state franchise laws as well. Certain states do, like Virginia.
I was going to say, and Virginia is one of them, right?
Correct. Virginia, Maryland. A franchise company cannot just offer and sell franchises in Virginia or Maryland until the franchise disclosure documents are filed with the state, reviewed, possibly changed, and then approved by the state. There's other states that simply require the franchise documents be filed annually, like Michigan and Utah. And then there are states that just require a one-time filing, Kentucky, Nebraska, Texas, and then a franchise company can offer and sell franchises there forevermore on a current FDD, on a current franchise disclosure document.
Okay. And what is a current FDD? You may have mentioned what that was, but...
Right. The FDD, the current FDD, refers to that legal document.
That's the original document we're talking about.
Yeah, which is 23 items about the franchise company, plus their financial statements, their training program, and the table of contents from their operations manual.
Okay, so if you had some advice for someone that's contemplating going in the franchise business, besides calling you, could you give us what other advice you'd have for them? What are some of the things you'd recommend them do?
Well, if somebody wants to franchise, I think they should ask themselves, are they willing to work hard? Because now they're not only running their own business, if you will, but they're functioning as a mentor and support to a growing body of franchisees throughout the country. They also have to be salespeople, because getting a franchise company up and running involves selling franchises, persuading and convincing prospects that your company is worth investing in. So there's a lot to franchising.
And you're not new at this. You've been doing this a while, right?
Correct. Yeah, my law partner and I have approximately 24 years combined franchise law experience. I was in-house counsel at Jackson Hewitt, which had 1,200 franchise offices, and collectively we grew Liberty Tax from 35 to approximately 4,000 offices.
Well, I guess you know a little bit about franchising.
Yes, we do.
Okay, well that's important. Is there anything I have forgotten to mention that you would like to mention?
I think you've covered all the bases.
I covered all the bases. Okay, cool. All right, so if you would like to give Carl or his partner a call, their contact information is at the end of this video. So if you've been thinking about possibly franchising your business, or possibly thinking about maybe you're involved with a franchise and thought about creating your own, maybe you can give Carl a call, and I'm sure he can answer your questions and be of help to you there. His office is in Virginia Beach. His location and contact information is at the bottom of this page and at the end of the video. It was a pleasure having you in here today.
It was nice.
I learned a little bit about franchising I didn't know.
Well,
I mean, I knew McDonald's was one, but that's about it. So I thank you for coming in.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thanks.